Hello everyone, this is Richard G, and today we're going to be going through another dungeon. Today we're going to be going to a dungeon that's actually pretty far from town. It is called Gritty Hollow. This is going to be a little longer than usual, but it's nothing we can't handle. Now this dungeon is a little more difficult, and it has a special gimmick to it, which I will cover when we get to it. Now, there are several ways to get there. This is just the path that I am taking. Now, I'm not bringing Dragonite, even though it's a little tougher, because you have to bring an HM Pokemon, and I also love bringing my Ghost wherever I go, because you never know when you might need it. Now here's the first place we need to cut. Now there is a way to go around this, another path, but regardless you do need cut just before the entrance. You'll see why. It's right down here. This bridge here, we have to cut that tree. And here's our entrance. So we're going to attempt this with Trapinch. There is a total of 26 floors. There is a midpoint, and there is a boss. I'm trying to run here. There's a lot going on. I'm just kind of running, because there's not much training purposes here. There are a few traps. Alright. Now you may notice there are rooms inside of the walls. These rooms can spawn Pokemon as well as items, which is why I like to bring Drifblim. In fact, one of the more common items you can sometimes find in these rooms later on are Reviver Seeds. So, the first dungeon we're at now that you can find them just on the floor. Though, items you pick up here can be sticky, especially the ones in those rooms. There are also items that can spawn in the walls themselves, typically diamonds. And if you've noticed, a very common weather here is sandstorm. And I got hit by a slow trap. I'll rest just to heal a little bit, but that's not going to heal my speed. So we're going to use Goodra here. Just because I don't want to deal with that slowness. Alright, let's keep going as Trapinch now. So you're seeing there's a lot of normal types here, but there's actually more of a diversity. There's Bug Bite. Wurmple love to Bug Bite. So if you see them nearby, try to get away from them, because they can Bug Bite you. And personally, I don't like losing your supplies. You can see there's not... Whoa! I'll revive this once, but... Whoa! That sandstorm does obscure your vision a little bit, so... Not much you could do at this point, but try to get used to it, I suppose. And the traps just keep on coming. Oh, whoa, I fell asleep. The yawn. Whew. This is not an easy dungeon. This is for your probably 30s, I would say. So the first part is 13 floors as well as the second part. Now, there is a special gimmick here which I will go over once we hit the midpoint. Which we are getting close. That spawn trap seems to be inevitable for me. It keeps showing up. And my belly's empty. Last floor too, so that kind of sucks. Let's see what I've got. Just a plain apple will do. There's mainly confuse traps, slow traps, summon traps, those kinds of things. There's also spike traps that show up here and there. Alright, there we go. Now, that's 13 floors down. Okay, so with those down, we are halfway through this place. Now I'm going to explain the special gimmick. What happens is, we have a specialty type of floors here. It's what we call descending floors. This is the only dungeon with that. We are going to start on 13F, and then floors we go on are going to decrease all the way down to 1. It's a very special thing, and it's only in this dungeon. Also, in the descending floors, during the night only, you have a rare chance of finding Rhyhorn. This is currently the only dungeon you can find Rhyhorn. And let's check the time. As you see, we're on 13, we're going down to 12. Alright, so the time, it is dusk. So we currently cannot find Rhyhorn. Something else here. You may find eggs. Now, what's with the eggs? Shoot. I'm just gonna switch here. We're just gonna use Guja, but for the eggs, what happens is you can have them in your bag, and they hatch when you're outside of a dungeon after a certain number of steps. The number of steps is based on the dungeon you are in. Some eggs from certain dungeons hatch faster than others. Now, how this works is, only one egg will actually get the steps at a time. The only egg that gets the steps is the one in the first page, like the closest to your first item in a page. Now, hopefully we can find an egg, but there are also honeys here, and we see one in the wall. And it's actually one of those one-tile rooms. So we'll take that. Now you may notice I have full vision with my Gudra. This is due to my held item called the X-Ray Specs. Without it, our vision is very limited. This is an item that not easy to get. In fact, if you go in this order of dungeons, you're not going to have it yet. But later on, when you have it, it's nice. And would you look at that? It just changed tonight. Which means now we have a chance of finding Rhyhorn. Will we find one? Most likely not. But there is that chance. They are rare. Those Dustox love to spam Moonlight, so try to defeat them as soon as possible. Now here we have an Excadrill. You see those? Defeat them as quick as possible, because they will use Earthquake. Granted, this does help you defeat your other opponents, but it's a very powerful move that you don't want to be caught in. Okay, so here we can use a silver key. I don't have one with me, but what happens is it opens up that room, and inside is a box. This is the first dungeon we have this case, and these boxes can hold items such as Revival Herbs and Lumberries, which is in pretty much every single box, as well as a certain kind of silk. The silk you get is based on your dungeon. This dungeon can get you a chance of the gray silk. All silks are 20% chance in the box. The gray silk is for rock types. So, kind of makes sense considering you've got some of that here, but that's what you can find in those. And they open the same as any other box. And there's an egg right in one of these kind of wall rooms. So what you can get from eggs are Smeargle, Sentret, Surskit, and Wurmple. And there we have a Slumber Trap. Okay, there we go, woke up. Snorlax are also a problem here. They are actually quite powerful. And defensive. And you can hear the sound effects of the egg. Looks like we're actually having trouble finding the stairs on this floor. There they are. And the floors just keep descending. Uproar can be another problem. Due to stab bonus, that can do a lot of damage to lower levels. We are definitely having some lag right now. Now my belly's empty. And Rhyhorn only spawns in the descending floors, if I haven't said that. And we have not seen one, so that's not a surprise. They are a bit rare. If you're actually going to try to get one for your team, it may take a few runs just to find one. And then actually recruiting it is even harder, because its chance is a little low. Like most rare Pokemon, of course. If you can survive here, this is actually a good training spot. You notice the XP is a bit higher than usual. Okay, last floor. Let's do this. Look in the wall. We have a TM Dig. TM Dig can always be found in those walls. It's always Dig. And over here we have an egg. And there's Earthquake. We have a Snorlax over there. Kill it. There's Lick. Luckily I didn't get paralyzed. Alright, let's go face the boss. We're going to do this as Linoon. The boss, funny enough, is Linoon. Now, I've tried figuring out the bosses with a few of my friends, and we could not figure out much about the boss drop since it rarely drops anything. Best we can come up with is 2 items that we found. Big Apple and Tiny Mushroom. So for what there is, there's not much. But let's do it. When he uses that, look out. Belly Drum will maximize his attack. If he does that, that's an opening to knock him out as quick as he can. Because it will put him at half his health at the risk of his attack being maximized. And there we go. Linoon is down, and there is no end box. We're just going to go up here through the warp. And then there's another thing out here. But with Linoon, again, watch out for that belly drum, because then his attack can pack one hell of a punch. Alright, so then we go out here, and we are out of here. So, that's Gritty Hollow. It can be a fairly difficult dungeon if you're not prepared. And the Pokemon that are there are actually fairly powerful. It's primarily normal types, yet the Gray Silk is there. But that's just because of the type of dungeon it is. It's Gritty Hollow, and if you look at the surroundings, it's kind of rocky. So, that's Gritty Hollow. Alright, so we are back at the crossroads, and that was Gritty Hollow. I'm still figuring out what we're going to do next, but you'll find out in the next video when I do it. But until that happens, this is Richard G, and I will see you next time.